When you're dealing with stupid criminals, as are most of the so-called BLM activists in this building, because they're actually inmates from the Department of Mental Health who have absolutely no lives, nothing going on, and spend their entire existence hate stalking people who they think have more than they do, it's easy to draw them out. It is easy to use yourself as bait to test a theory as to whether or not what these pieces of shit are doing are actually what these pieces of shit are doing. And as I keep saying, observing, reporting, and documenting, what I keep saying that these pieces of shit are doing is exactly what these pieces of shit are doing. It is right around 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. It's very early, and I am still up because I have an important appointment in the morning, and I have to get this place cleaned up. I'm exhausted. I want to go to sleep. I sleep. I have to have a functional life in order to not end up living under a bridge. Unlike the pieces of shit who live in this building, the DMH inmates who claim to be BLM activists, but are really just rejected pieces of filth who do nothing to improve their situation in life, who deliberately engage in some very aggressive and harmful behavior towards others, and who do not seek any remedies for their social and behavioral issues. They blame everybody else for their problems and then hate stalk those who don't want to be their special friend. I would be one of those who are there hate stalking because these pieces of shit somehow, for some strange reason, think that I owe them something. They're almost entirely all male sex offenders, or they think, live, and behave exactly like sex offenders, which is the same thing, right? If you act like a sex offender, you do sex offender things. You think like a sex offender, you live your wasted sex offender life like a sex offender, then maybe you're a sex offender. Maybe you're not in the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry because DMH decided that you're on the autism spectrum and therefore you cannot possibly be responsible for your sex offender lifestyle. I keep reporting that Jasmine Irizarry, the perving, creeping piece of shit who's been constantly in the bathroom behind this wall for 11 years now, sponsored by the Greenville Group, her friend Oleg Eliseyev, a reported member of the Russian mafia, is continually permitting Irizarry, the hate-stalking pervert, to engage in constant, aggressive, and identical behavior now as she did during the 11 years that she was officially housed in that unit behind this wall. And Irizarry is a sex offender. You know you're dealing with a sex offender when they become violent, psychotic, intrusive, and mentally disturbed every time you try to use your toilet. And you know you're dealing with a sex offender when they have been repeatedly referred to by Oleg Eliseyev and other managers of this building complex as Greenville's surveillance expert. And then you get aggressively harassed by this surveillance expert every time you try to use the toilet in your bathroom. So if I want to figure out if the person who is making violent banging and slamming noises constantly late at night behind this wall is actually Jasmine Irizarry, the fat, perving, stinking, mentally disturbed, virally contaminated psycho piece of shit, or if it's the tenant that the Greenville Group claims is new and is now living in that unit, all I need to do is try to use my toilet. I suspect that the, quote, new tenant that they're housing in there is actually a member of their maintenance team who does not live in that unit full time. A few years ago, they were housing their maintenance manager in this unit. I think it was a year and a half ago, because he lived in Worcester and he had a long commute and he couldn't always be back here by 7 a.m. So they let him stay in Unit 78 a couple of days a week. Now I think they're doing the same thing with another member of the maintenance team, because whoever is in that bathroom during, like normal business hours is a functional person. But whoever is in that bathroom at 1:30 in the morning or 3:45 a.m., as I keep reporting, is the fat, perving psycho pig, a hate-stalking, mentally disturbed sex offender psychopath named Jasmine Irizarry, who has bragged on social media that she is contaminating the water to my taps, that she is using a directed energy device, and she seems to know exactly which videos I posted 2 years ago and when. And she corrects me when I post videos from 2 years ago. That's a hate-stalking, perving, creeping stalker right there. And I suspect that whoever is smoking intense amounts of marijuana from behind this wall right here and filling my bathroom with the sickening smell all evening, and has been doing this since late afternoon, early evening, is the fat perving psycho pig, Jasmine Irizarry. I refer to Irizarry as a psycho pig because she's a severely jealous and aggressive, destructive, and harmful piece of shit who does not do anything to try to help herself. She literally thinks that whatever it is that she's doing is perfectly okay because she's a psychopath. She likes to brag about what she does. I don't think that she is that she can be rehabilitated. I just don't think that she can. She's a level 3 sex offender who was removed from the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry sometime in 2018, evidently because she is on the autism spectrum. But she also has multiple personality disorders, including narcissistic personality disorder, which is evident like almost immediately. She has this, I don't even want to get into it, this you can tell. I have a PhD level education in clinical psychology, and I know a narcissist when I have to interact with one. I've never directly interacted with Irizarry. I've had to cross paths with her a few times, and her affectations, her superior affectations, her eye rolling, her creepy facial expressions, designed to basically elicit negative responses from people around her, are clear signs of narcissism. And she doesn't really do anything to help herself. I mean, that's very clear. So I just went in there to try to use a toilet, or I was pretending like I was about to use a toilet. Because the Greenville group, again, keeps telling me there's a normal tenant now in that unit. And I say, no, it's not. It's the old tenant that is behaving. If the new tenant is behaving exactly like the old tenant, then the new tenant is the old tenant, maybe with a member of the maintenance team occasionally staying in that unit, maybe a couple days a week. But the rest of the time, Irizarry seems to be accessing the premises of Unit 78. She's in there right now because at this moment, as soon as I went into my bathroom to pretend like I was about to use a toilet, so I started removing things from around the toilet, started opening the lid, turning on the light, etc. She started getting violent against that wall right there, smacking the wall, either behind my sink in my bathroom or behind the shower stall, which again is Unit 78. So I know, she's in there. And not only is she in there, she's again getting violent and aggressive when I pretend like I'm about to use a toilet. Because A, she's a sex offender. B, she pervs and creeps all over watching people use their toilet. C, she is exactly what the Greenville group keeps bragging that she is, which is their surveillance expert. So she has knowledge of what I do on a moment by moment basis in the privacy of that bathroom. D, I'm on D. She likes to smack the wall behind my toilet when she thinks I'm about to use it, which I'm not, but I pretended like I was. And E, she has once again resumed her use of a directed energy weapon while I'm sitting here making this video about how she's smacking the wall behind my toilet and how she is at this moment right behind the wall of my toilet. Now she's hitting me with a directed energy device that she brags on social media to using on a tripod that she is aiming at my head. So when I keep reporting what these stupid criminals are doing, and then they do exactly what I say that they're doing, and when I pretend like I'm about to do something that triggers them into doing what I keep saying that they're doing, and then they do what I keep saying that they're doing, then they're doing what I keep saying that they're doing. Do you understand? No. Because you don't have any brain cells if you're watching this video, because the mentally disturbed rejects who hate stalk my channel are no-life, low-life scumbags who have serious problems with women and hate stalk women who they think owe them some kind of favors. And I'm going to say this, anybody who thinks that I owe them anything will never have anything to do with me, because I do not owe anybody anything except possibly my parents, who spent a lot of time, effort, energy, and money raising and educating me. Yes, I do owe my parents something. I owe my siblings something, because they also have been doing everything they possibly can to help me out whenever I've needed it throughout my life. I have amazing siblings. Do I owe my nieces and nephews something? Possibly. But anybody else, and my close friends, of course, because they've always had my back. That's why they're my close friends. So yes, I do owe my close friends something. And aside from the U.S. government, who I might owe some taxes to, I don't owe anybody a thing. So go jump off a cliff, you hate stalking perverts, you masturbating pieces of shit. Go jump off a cliff, rejects, because you do nothing to help yourselves, and you hate women, and you can't leave women alone, and you molest children, and you rape little girls. And, that's really just beyond any kind of help. I mean, good luck to you, but that's beyond help. So stay off of my channel. Leave me alone. Stay out of the bathroom behind my toilet, you pedophile filth. And, if you don't want to get help for your problems, maybe you should go jump off a cliff.